Hey guys, what's up? John Morris here, johnmorrisonline.com. Real quick video for you. Why do people buy? You need to quit worrying so much about this question. Now, I want to say, it doesn't mean you don't need to answer this question. You need to know why people buy, why your market buys the thing that you're selling. But you should already know the answer to that. The answer to that question is, and how to find it is well established, well known, and that's what everybody else is doing, and that's what everybody else is focusing on. Now, just real quick, if you don't know why people buy and how to figure it out, it's really simple. They buy value. Now, when you get into the weeds of that, it can be a little bit tricky, but what they ultimately buy, what people are after, is what we would call valuable emotional experiences. And everything that we purchase is based around that. So a real quick example, if you buy a car, you're not buying metal, you're not buying rubber, you're not buying leather, all those things. You're buying how that car makes you feel when you drive it. So in a really practical sense, you're buying not having to walk everywhere, right? That's a valuable emotional experience. You're also buying what people think of you when you drive that car. So that's why we have people buying all sorts of fancy, nice looking cars when a simpler, cheaper, less fancy car does the practical job of getting you to A to B. It's because we want that emotional experience of how people will look at us when we're driving a fancy car, right? So that's how to figure out why people buy in your market. What is the object they're fixated on, and why does they want it? Why do they want it? If you're selling cars, then the object is the car, and there's a number of different emotional experiences that they're after in order to get it. But again, that's what everybody else is doing, and that's the question everybody else is asking. And you answering that question and focusing on that and selling yourself isn't going to set you apart. The real question that you need to be asking is, who do people buy from? Now, when I ask that question, most people I know, most web designers and developers especially, won't have a clue what the answer to that question is, or they'll think it's some sort of generic, it could be anything, and they'll go off in some, vague diatribe about, who people buy from. But there's a very specific answer to that question as well. So who do people buy from? People buy from other people that they trust. And that's the key to setting yourself apart as a web designer and web developer, especially in a services industry like what we do. People are not going to buy from you if they don't trust you. Okay. Again, think of it from the client's perspective. They're about to pay you probably several $1,000s to build what is ultimately their baby. So they're not going to just do that with anybody. And they're not going to do it because you write some slick sales copy on your services page. It's not going to happen. Instead, what you need to focus on is finding ways to be able to build trust with those people before they ever hire you. Now, if you've heard me talk before, I harp on this over and over and over again. The simplest and easiest way to do that is to start creating content for your target market that helps them solve problems that they already have. Because what happens is you gain their trust, and eventually they're going to have a problem that they either can't solve themselves, or they simply don't want to, and they're willing to pay someone to do it for them. And who do you think they're going to buy from when that situation happens? You. Hey, thanks for watching this short video. If you have a question you'd like for me to answer on the show, then just go ahead and tweet me at JPMorris, #JMO. I want to know, and I'll try to answer that question for you. And if you haven't subscribed or liked my page yet, then go ahead and do that. I would seriously appreciate it, and you are killing me if you haven't done that yet. But go ahead and subscribe, like this video up, share it, and so on. I would really appreciate that from you. And if you haven't that yet, go ahead and head on over to johnmorrisonline.com and download my 7 strategies to turn your code into cash cheat sheet. I'll talk to you later.